All right, we're going to take a look at the technique of Gaussian elimination in which we solve three equations for three unknowns. So here are our three equations. You might want to take a chance to write them down. 2x minus y plus 3z equals 0, x plus y plus z equals 6, and 5x plus 2y minus z equals negative 3. Well, so let's kick this off. What you first want to do is form what's called the augmented matrix. So what we'll do is we'll pull off all the coefficients on the variables. So we have a 2, a negative 1, and a 3. And then leave a little space, or sometimes people will put a little dotted line down here, and then we'll write the 0. In the next row, we have 1, 1, 1, and then the 6. And then we have 5, 2, negative 1, and then the negative 3. So this is our what's called augmented matrix. We've tacked onto a 3 by 3 matrix this row of numbers from the other side of the equal sign. And so what we're going to do now is try to make these bottom three numbers 0 by doing basic row operations on this matrix. So if we fixate on the number 5 here in the corner, I'm going to first turn this guy into a 0. And my strategy for doing that is I'm going to multiply the equation above it by negative 5 and just add it to this one. So a notation for writing that is I'm going to say negative 5 times row 2 plus row 3, and I'm going to put it in row 3. So let's go for it. If you do that, it's going to turn out like this, because negative 5 times this number plus 5 will give you a 0. Negative 5 times this number plus 2 will give you negative 3. And negative 5 times 1 plus another negative 1 will give you negative 6. And then finally, negative 5 times 6 will give you negative 30. But then if you subtract another 3 from that, you get negative 33. So my next move is to fixate on this entry, and I'm going to try to turn that guy into a 0. And my plan for doing that is I'm going to multiply this entire row by negative 2 and add it to the row above, and then just put the result in row 2. So notation for that would be like negative 2 times row 2 added to row 1, and then stick it in row 2. So let's go for it. When you do that, you do indeed get the 0 here, because negative 2 times 1 and then plus 2 will give you a 0. Negative 2 times 1 gives you negative 2, and then with another negative 1, that gives you a negative 3. So that's why there's a negative 3 there. And then negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2, plus 3 will give you right back a positive 1. So that's why there's a 1 here. And finally, negative 2 times 6 will give you negative 12, and then plus 0 still gives you negative 12. So we're looking good. The last entry, the last one that we need to turn into a 0 is this one down here. Then we'll have this upper triangle of the matrix will be numbers other than 0, and then these will be 0. So my strategy for doing this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the row above it by negative 1, and then I'm going to add it to the bottom row and put it in the bottom row. So let's go for that. When you do that, you'll get this result. So negative 1 times 0 is 0, and then if you add it to 0, you still get 0. Negative 1 times negative 3 would give you 3, and then if you add that to negative 3, why, you'll get 0, and that's why there's a 0 here. And then finally, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, and if you add that to negative 6, you'll get a negative 7. And then we have negative 1 times 12, which would be positive 12, but we have to add that to 33. So positive 12, and negative 33 will give you a negative 21. So we've put this thing into what some textbooks would call row-echelon form, but our textbook and the class that I'm working with and the school that I am working for, it's row-echelon form if you also turn these elements along the diagonal to 0. Well, that's, or not to 0, to 1. And that's actually pretty easy, because all you got to do is say we want this number to be a 1, we'll just divide the whole row by 2. So what we're going to do to change these into 1s is, well, just divide each row that it's in by this number. So in other words, we're going to say row 1, we're going to divide the whole row 1 by 2. We're going to divide the entire row 2 by negative 3. And we're going to divide row 3 by negative 7. And that'll just turn all those entries into 1s. And so when you do that, you get this. So this is now officially in row echelon form, at least according to our textbook. Like I said, some sources will let you leave these elements on the diagonal as not equal to 1, but we will force them to be 1. So we did it. We're in row echelon form. The whole reason for doing this is it now lets you rather quickly get what the unknowns are, what the variables x, y, and z are. So let's quick do that. So there was our original set of equations. Here's our row echelon form matrix that goes along with those equations. Well, let's see what happens. So if you look at this bottom row, what this actually means then is that 1z equals 3. And so we learned straight away that z equals 3. So you kind of work your way from the bottom up is what we're going to do. If you look then at the row above that, well, this says that 1 times y minus 1/3 times z is equal to 4. And so, well, the thing that's nice about that is we already know what the z is. Z is equal to 3. Well, 1/3 of 3 is 1. So what that means is y minus 1 is equal to 4. Well, that lets us know straight away then that y is equal to 5. Now, since we know z and y, we could use this top equation here to figure out what x is, because this would say that x minus half of y plus 3/2 of z will give you 0. And we could do that. Or another just quick way, since we know 2 of the 3 unknowns, we could just go back to a simple equation in our original set, which is just that x plus y plus z equals 6. And so x plus y plus z is 6. Well, x we don't know yet, y we know is 5, z we know is 3. So 6 is equal to x plus 8. Well, so that means that x itself then is going to have to be -2. And so there are our 3 variables. That solves the system. To double check it, we could just throw them, for instance, into this bottom equation. So it says 5x, which would be -10, plus 2y, which would be +10. So -10 plus +10 will give you 0. And then -3 does indeed equal -3. So that's just a quick double check. So that was the process of Gaussian elimination.